Kia ora. In today's headlines, police have reluctantly switched to a recovery mission for the 3 rock climbers missing off the New Plymouth coast. 2 students fell from Paratutu Rock into the sea yesterday and an instructor dived in after them. They are 42-year-old Bryce Jourdain, 17-year-old Stephen Kahukakagiri from New Plymouth and 17-year-old Felipe Milo of Brazil. Whanganui residents are being reassured ahead of the Beast of Blenheim's prison release. Stewart Marie Wilson is finishing an 18-year sentence for sex offences and will live in a house just outside Whanganui prison. A probation spokeswoman says he'll be under GPS tracking.
He's done a long time in prison and he's going to take a bit to reintegrate, and access to people will be quite carefully considered.
The unemployment rate has risen to 6.8%, with 2,000 losing their jobs in the June quarter. Latest figures show there were 5,000 fewer men in employment, while 3,000 women gained jobs. Statistics New Zealand says job numbers are not keeping up with the working age population, which grew by 15,000 people. The markets have reacted sharply to the latest employment data. Westpac's Imre Spitzer says the Kiwi dollar took an immediate hit.
The Kiwi-US exchange rate fell around half a cent, down to about 81.10 after the news.
But there's positive news for Christchurch. A drive for more workers will see 1,000 new jobs open up in the city. The Stronger Christchurch Infrastructure Rebuild team is kicking off a $2.2 billion infrastructure project next month and needs 1,000 workers by Christmas, according to Duncan Gibb.
As many local people as we can into a program that we're looking at ramping up in September to train them and upskill them and give them an ongoing career in construction.
There's relief for some blue-chip investors who have been chased by property developers to pay up. The Supreme Court has ruled the purchase agreement for apartments marketed by the collapsed company is invalid. One lawyer remarked that if the appeal hadn't succeeded, individual investors would have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's International Day of the World's Indigenous People, and the Greens are calling on the government to uphold the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples by negotiating with the Pan-Māori group on water rights. Māori agreed to form a single group, but the Prime Minister intends to address each iwi. Maturia Ture believes honouring the declaration means acknowledging the combined iwi group. In Olympics news, New Zealand won its 100th medal overnight, a silver claimed by the 49er pair of Blair Tuke and Peter Burling. The icing on the cake came as they received their medals from Barbara Kendall, New Zealand's most successful female Olympian, with 3 medals herself. Our only medal chances tonight lie with Lisa Carrington and Erin Taylor in the K2 500 metre final. And Kiwi House in London is to remain closed while the venue undergoes several checks. The courtyard, which has become home for New Zealanders during the Olympics, was razed when a gas canister exploded. To the Philippines, nearly 300,000 people have been left homeless by floods and almost 2 weeks of rain. Around 500 evacuation centres have been set up in Manila. Rescuers on rubber boats are trying to reach those marooned and submerged houses along the hardest hit Marikina River. Ka nui ngā karere matua mai I te whare korero o rima, Moriora.